It must take a pretty strong gauntlet to punch this OR-15 unit into the wall. Wait, no, Doomfist did it before he even had the gauntlet. That's how powerful this guy is. If you didn't realize that, or you're curious about the things you definitely missed in the Doomfist teaser, stick around because we're going to cover everything that's kind of hidden in the little details. I actually mentioned it in yesterday's video, the fact that Doomfist actually fought and punched this OR-15 unit into the wall before he got his gauntlet. We can tell because it says, after escaping from the facility, Helix lost track of Doomfist until he resurfaced in Numbani, where he clashed with the new OR-15 defense bots, and then reclaimed the Doomfist. And I'm gonna say Doomfist because I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I think it's Ogundimu, but I'm not gonna butcher it anymore. So regardless, he destroyed these bots before he had the gauntlet. Some people thought originally that he took the gauntlet and then escaped this way through the airport. No, this was his entry path. He entered by punching or throwing or maybe even kicking, we don't know, this OR-15 unit into the wall. So it's safe to say this dude has got some serious power. Now that we've mentioned his name, we might as well go into a little bit more detail as to what his origins are based on this name. Akande Ogundimu is, I believe, how you pronounce it, or something like that. If you take a look at his first and last name, both of them have meaning. Akande means firstborn, apparently, and while Ogundimu doesn't really have a very specific meaning, both the first and last name, when you put them into Google Translate, come up as Yoruban. This would mean that Doomfist is probably Nigerian. If you just do a quick Google search of Yoruba, it says that the Yoruba people are an ethnic group of southwestern and north central Nigeria. The likely assumption is that Doomfist is going to be black if he's Nigerian. And I'm not racist for saying that. That's a very logical conclusion to come to. And if this is the case, then it's also, you know, a logical assumption to say that Terry Crews could be the voice of this person playing Doomfist, given that Blizzard likes to make it so the voice actors of certain heroes kind of match what they, you know, portray in games. So even though Terry Crews I don't think is actually Nigerian, I'm not sure what he is, but I don't think he's Nigerian, he is black. So, you know, there is a correlation there. I'm just trying to not sound racist because I'm not. This is logical, guys. You can't fault me on this. The fact that Akande means firstborn, I'm not sure is actually too relevant, but we can use his name to determine that he is not one of the first two Doomfists we've seen in this picture here. These both have different names, which means he could potentially be the third Doomfist. Also, safe to assume he's not an Omnic. Not this guy. This person is, well, it's a person. So Doomfist, if this is the guy that ends up playing Doomfist, he would not be an Omnic. And I say that because I have somewhat of like a hunch that the guy we're seeing here might not be Doomfist. What if another guy comes and just kicks his ass and ends up being the Doomfist we play in game? That's just like a crazy speculation thing, but it is possible. But given the guy we have right now, the Doomfist that left, Akande, he is human. The next little piece you probably missed is this one right here. It says that the craft passed through the range of installation's defense systems without incident, leading some to believe that Talon has moles within Helix. A mole would just be like a double agent, someone working on the inside to get them in. And while it may be the case that someone in Helix is a double agent, it's more likely to assume either Sombra did it and she actually did crack the Helix security, which she's been trying to do forever. She even has a voice line about it saying, "I'm going to find a way through Helix's firewalls." It's also likely that just Reaper, Sombra, and Widowmaker did it all together and could have broken him out easily. The sentence actually before this states that security initially reported that the craft had no passengers on board based on radar scans. Let's think about these three heroes for a second. Reaper is not even human, so I'm not sure a scan would actually turn him up. Widowmaker has been like stealth coated. Her whole body is blue because she doesn't, like breathe as much or something. She has got a lower body temperature and it makes it so she's invisible to stuff like this. Namely, infrared, I believe, is the one that she's invisible to, but whatever. Radar, infrared, I don't know if Blizzard really pays attention to these little details. Sombra's just like a hacker, she can go invisible. I'm sure she's got countermeasures for this. Her alone could probably trick the radar system into tricking them into thinking thinking like a ship full of people, is empty. So these three can definitely fool the system with ease. I don't think Helix has a mole. Let's now talk about the release date of Doomfist, as well as the possibility of a cinematic short, when we're going to get that, and who's going to be in it. As far as the release date goes, it could be anywhere from this Thursday, being tomorrow, to next Thursday. That's generally the window we're looking at. It's most likely going to be sometime next week. The general window is usually 7 to 12 days after being teased is when a hero was released. Zarya was revealed 10 days after she was teased. McCree was 12 days. Soldier 76 was, I think, 7 days? I'm not too sure. All of them fall within this 7 to 12 day window, though. Every single hero so far, leading all the way back to Zarya. So this means it's safe to assume we're going to be getting a new hero soon. That means we're probably going to be getting a cinematic short as well. We didn't get a cinematic short for Orisa, so it'd be very, very, very safe to assume we're going to be getting one for this hero release. Now let's talk about who is going to be in that. Doomfist is quite obvious. I do not think we will be seeing Reaper, Sombra, or Widowmaker, given that all three of them have been in their own fair share of shorts, except for Sombra. She's only been in one, but the other two have had multiple, so I don't think we'll be seeing them again unless we just see like a small cameo of them. The real fight, I think, is going to be between Doomfist, Orisa, and Pharah. Why Pharah? Because she's a Helix agent, and he just escaped from a Helix prison. There's also a chance Lucio ends up somewhere in this short or relating to Doomfist for multiple reasons. One, we know he has ties to Numbani already. His color scheme, his base color scheme, is the same as Orisa's, because we know Effie based it off of him, or at least we can assume that because they have the exact same colors. On top of this, if you look at the code on the lock here, on the little teaser that we got, it says 88053. If you look that up, not much comes up, but I decided to convert it into a postal code because why not, you know, a zip code, and it shows right in Brazil. This is a Brazilian zip code, which, you know, is Lucio's nationality, so that could be a thing. I don't know if I would really truly believe that's coincidence, because Blizzard doesn't like little coincidences like that. They could definitely make every number mean something, so I just really want to say that Lucio is involved here, because I don't think they would just pick a random number, and conveniently it's a zip code for a place that we have a hero that has ties to the current events that are going on. So which Doomfist out of these three are we going to be seeing, if any of these? Well, personally, I'm pretty sure it's the one all the way on the right, the Successor. The Scourge doesn't even match the same Doomfist. That Doomfist fits on the left hand of the user, and the one on Numbani goes on the person's right hand, so it can't be him. And then the guy all the way on the left, the Savior, that Doomfist looks nothing like the one we've got so far, leading only the Successor, because we can't see what his Doomfist looks like, to be a potential candidate. Now you may be asking, how do you know it's this guy and not someone entirely new? Well, if we look back at the new article, it says that Talon is trying to free one man, Akande Ogundimu, better known as Doomfist. If they know him already as Doomfist, he's wielded the gauntlet before, and this is likely the Doomfist that Winston defeated. The order of events makes things a little bit easier, so let's go over that. First, the Doomfist that we're probably seeing here went on a rampage. That's the one that Winston eventually defeated, took to prison, which we can assume is this Helix prison, and he's been sitting there for a while, and then Winston took the fist, the Doomfist gauntlet, and put it in the museum that we see in the Overwatch cinematic trailer. Then, Talon tries to steal it. Reaper and Widowmaker invade while Winston and Tracer defend it, and they decide that this isn't a safe place for it, so they move it to Numbani. Then it gets stolen by our new Doomfist, and he's on the run, and now we're caught up to times. That's just the way the puzzle pieces fit together right now. The thing is, there's going to be inconsistencies. Blizzard originally said that they didn't plan on making Doomfist a hero, and the community is what drove them to end up starting to make him one. He's going to be a hero eventually, guaranteed, and he's probably going to be the next one given what we've seen. So there's going to be inconsistencies in the story because he used to be just a filler character. We don't actually know if the left-handed gauntlet is any different than the current one. The gauntlet might adapt to whoever's using it. And we don't even know if the Savior and the Successor are good guys or bad guys. We can assume the Scourge is a bad guy because he's the Scourge, but other than that, we don't know who the Savior and the Successor were. We don't even know what the Successor looks like, what his weapon looks like. We don't know anything about him. So there's going to be inconsistencies. What I'm telling you is what we have right now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. Check out some of yesterday's videos, not the one about Doomfist, because if you've seen this one, you pretty much know everything about what's going on. But check out the other one I made about, you know, maybe gaining more SR every time you win a game, because that's always nice. You know, competitive Overwatch. It's a good thing. Anyway, I'll see you guys all later. Have a good one. Lone Hawk out.